I will show you how to divide this expression by 8x. Before I start working on this one, I just want to mention we are using long division for this question. Okay, long division is like this. Right. So before we start working on this one, I just want to make sure there are 4 steps to remember to deal with this one. And then these steps are cycle. So when you finish drop, you go back to 1. First one is decide top number. Second one is multiply. Third one is subtract. And the fourth one is drop. And then going back to 1. I just give you example using the number here. Okay. To divide 256 by 2, we do how many 2's goes into the biggest number here? 1, isn't it? That is gonna be the number on the top, which is the first step here. Okay? Then what you do is multiply, which means you do this number times by this number, which is 2. Right. Then we next doing what we are doing as subtract. We do this, take away this, cancelled out. So 0, isn't it? I'm not gonna write 0, but this is empty here. Then next one is a drop. Drop next number here. Okay? Then 5. Then we are doing the same thing, going back to 1. Decide the top number, which is 2 times what gives you 5, but 2.5. But how many 2's goes into 5, which is 2, isn't it? So 2 times 2 is 4. And then what do you do? So we did 2 times 2, which is multiply. So subtract. 5 take away 4 is 1. And the next one, as you do, drop, wasn't it? So you drop the next number here, 16. Then how many 2's goes into 16, which we have to decide the number which fits here, right? So number 1, and then multiply 2 times by 8 is 16, and then subtract 0. So we don't have any remainder at this stage. But if this one is a 7, this one is a 7, so the remainder is 1. So remainder is 1, like that. Okay? So we're gonna use this cycle to deal with this one. So what we are looking at first is a left number here. Then decide the top number, which is 8x times by this number gives you 24x to the power 4. 3 times 8 is 24, isn't it? And then if you look at x to the power of 3. 3x to the power of 3 gives you, times this one gives you 24, x to the power of 4, isn't it? We did multiply, and then we do subtract, this take away this, cancelled out. The next one we drop, next number here, 32, x to the power of 3. 8 times what gives you 33? 4, isn't it? So 4 x to the power of 1, 2, 3, right? So x to the power of 2 gives you this times this gives you this one, right? So multiply and then subtract, then cancelled out, and then drop, negative 8x to the power of 2. And then this times this number gives you negative 8 to the power 8x to the power of 2. So negative 1. Oh no, negative x, isn't it? Then you 8x times by negative x is negative 8x to the power of 2. Then you can subtract negative 8x to the power of 2. Take away negative 8 to x to the power of 2. This one cancelled out. So we drop this one here. x. To make x, what number can you think of? 8x times by something gives you x. 1x, isn't it? Right? Then this times this gives you here, which is multiply, and then subtract, then cancelled out, and then drop this one, -1. But you can't create -1 by timesing any number here. So this one is going to be a remainder. So the remainder of -1, right? Next question is this one. Right, so we are doing this one, but the difference is to the power of 2 here, isn't it? Okay, so first, we are following the same structure. This side is a number on the top. This times 3 x to the power of 2. This time this as 24x4, isn't it? Then what do you do next? Subtract. Then cancel that and then drop. So 32x to the power of 3. 8 times by 4. And then x is gonna be next. And we decided a number timesing 32x3. And then subtract. And then drop. -8x to the power of 2. And then this one is -1, isn't it? -8x to the power of 2, cancelled out. And then we drop these two at once because we can't make this number by multiplying this number times 8x to the power of 2. So this one is going to be the remainder, like that. Okay? Next, this time, this is -1. We do the same. The basic is the same. So decide the top number. Then we are focusing on here. X times what gives you x to the power of 2? X, isn't it? But there are two terms here. When you multiply this one, you do this times this and this times this as well. Okay? So x times x is x to the power of 2. -1 times x is -x. And then what do you do? Subtract. This, take away this, cancelled out. -6x, take away -x. This one turns into positive, so that -5x. And then what do you do? Drop. You drop this one, +2, then focusing on the left one, okay? This times what gives you -5x? -5, isn't it? Then you multiply. X times -5 is -5x, but don't forget to do for this one as well. -1 times by -5 is +5. And then what do you do? Subtraction, isn't it? This take away this, cancelled out. 2 take away 5 is -3. So the remainder is 3. No, -3. Right, next one. Do the same thing. So decide the number here. X times what gives you 2x to the power of 2? 2x, isn't it? So x times by 2x is 2x to the power of 2. -3 times by 2x is -6x. Then what do you do? Subtract, isn't it? Cancelled out, -2x, and then drop next. Then this times this is this, so then -2, isn't it? So -2x is x times -2. -3 times -2 is +6. And then 3 take away 6 is -3. So remainder is -3. So I will give you another 2 questions in the next video. Cheers.